Hey guys, Steve Markford here, your mobile guy and owner of Kickback Wireless Solutions. I just wanted to get in here and introduce this video you're about to watch. It's called Are Cell Phones and Tablets Safe for Kids? And I think this is a very important education. I actually took tidbits out of my full parenting course called Becoming a Mobilized Parent, and that these points are super important, and they kind of will give you a quick insight just under 13 minutes on things such as the concerns about too much screen time, the current trends of usage and how long kids are using them for, what are the dangers, and then what you can do as a parent. So I hope this information proves valuable to you. If you want more information based on focused around the parenting aspect, go ahead and go to mobilizedparent.com, and that's where I have that course that I mentioned. If you want to see any other content that I have on anything mobile related, go ahead and go to yourmobileguy.com right up here and enjoy the video. I hope to see you in another one. Hey there, my name is Stephen Markfort, owner of Kickback Wireless Solutions, and I am here to talk to you about a subject that's near and dear to my heart, and that has to do with children using mobile devices and helping parents prepare for this situation. So the name of this education is called Are Cell Phones and Tablets Safe for Kids to Use? So this is kind of like in an umbrella course that kind of goes over some things that you should be paying attention to and some tips and advice of what is going on in today's day and age with children using cell phones. So before I get started, I wanted to make a statement that I am not a doctor or physician. This information is based off multiple articles and reports that are publicly available. So if you go out there and search on Google, a lot of these things that I'm talking about, you will be able to find easily. Going off of that, the reason why I want to state that is it has been shown that using mobile devices is thought to be addicting to our brains. There's actually plenty of research that leads us to believe that using these devices is similar to drug use. Trust me, just Google it. It's pretty interesting to see the comparison. So what makes them addicting? So first of all, blue light. Blue light is known to keep you awake and alert. Flashy lights, same thing, get you drawn in. That's why Vegas uses them alongside of gambling to kind of make that environment. Access to information, or instant access to information, being able to find something out sooner and being able to get that information at the tips of your fingers. And then you also have social inclusion. Social inclusions like things that Facebook and Twitter and texting and FaceTiming and those type of things that allow you to remain socially included in your group of friends or family. And then lastly, instant accomplishments. Instant accomplishments also can be found on Facebook and Twitter and those platforms, because you get likes and followers and hearts, and then you can also get the same effect from other apps and games where you're getting accomplishments and perhaps competing against other people. So those are kind of the features that do make them addicting. So I do want to cover some of the possible effects of using these devices for long periods of time. One of them is brain development and attention is affected, manners and relationships are affected. And again, you may see some of these things out there because this is definitely a rising trend. Sleep quality is affected, posture, physique, and technique, which is a unique phenomenon that I found out from working with one of my buddies who's a chiropractor. Very interesting with what our bodies do when we look down at these mobile devices. Definitely something worth looking into. And then its effect on your eyes, so staring at a screen for a certain amount of time has been shown that it could have a negative effect on our eyes. So what are the current trends and how long are kids using these devices nowadays? Let's dive into some findings that I found in some studies that are out there. So over a third of babies are tapping on smartphones or tablets before they can walk or talk. 97% of children younger than 4 had used mobile devices, and 38% of them use it for over an hour a day. Moving on, 17% of children under 8 use a mobile device every day, and 8 to 12-year-olds who use a smartphone or tablet, use them for a combined 6 hours per day. Some of this may not surprise some of you. 97% of teens who own a smartphone and 51% own a tablet. And 94% of teens with a mobile device go online daily or more often, which isn't that hard to believe. 13 to 18-year-olds who use a tablet every day use them for over 8 hours per day. That is an insane number. So here's just a quick chart that shows kind of the trend. If you aren't a word person but more of a visual person, so as they're younger, the trend kind of rises slowly, but in the middle it rises super fast, and then in your late 20s, mid to late 20s, it kind of tapers off at this current trend that's out there. A little bit of a visual for you guys. So how much screen time at each age is too much? It really depends, and there's a lot of information out there. There is some big organizations that I cover in some deeper courses that I have available for you, but it's generally anywhere from a half hour up to 4 or 5 hours a day, depending on how these devices are being used, which is something I'm going to dive into because it's a little bit more concrete information for you. So now that we've talked about using them, what about what they do when they use them? So again, we're talking about children here. Are all activities the same? Most experts say no. So we have things like games is one way of using these devices. Watching video is another way of using these devices, and possibly learning, reading, or constructing, building, doing something that is moving the needle on your knowledge is also something that they can do on these devices. So all these things are not rated the same. There's also things, again, I have another video that's going to be out on all the dangers of mobile access, but this is something that I don't want to scare you away from having kids use mobile devices, but it is something you do want to pay attention to, and why this is such a important topic to me. We have dangerous access, so we have explicit content, the amount of sexual content and porn that is prevalent running through these devices is insane. 20%, 1 out of 5 of all mobile searches amongst all ages is for sexual content or porn. It's a pretty amazingly bad statistic. You also have explicit content like violence and language that you have to look out for. Similar things you'd be looking out for in a TV show or movie. So you want to make sure that you're watching that stuff on the mobile devices that kids are using. And then this is another big one. One of the bigger ones is this, what I call access to others, and what I dub the screen barrier. So what that does is it allows instant access to these children, whether it be strangers, pedophiles, or identity thieves. And what it does is you have the screen barrier. So a lot of things happen behind the screen barrier that wouldn't happen in everyday life. Another thing with access to others is cyberbullying. According to one survey of 15,000 U.S. middle and high school students, over 1/3 had experienced some type of cyberbullying. So again, kids will be kids, and when they get another device, another way to do it, they're going to use it for those type of things. So you definitely want to keep a lookout and be able to notice some of the signs when it comes to cyberbullying. And then another dangerous access to others type of thing is sexting. Another huge thing that you want to look out for and make sure that you talk to your kids about. In one study, 54% of 18 to 22-year-olds, now those are consenting adults now, but at the time admitted to sending a sext as a minor. So over half of those surveyed in the survey admitted to doing it while it was not accepted. So again, I'm not a lawyer and don't pretend to be, but from this research that I've done, taking, sending, or receiving videos or photos of a minor can be categorized as child pornography. So as you see in that, taking, sending, or receiving, these can all land you in some trouble if caught, and obviously if prosecuted. So what can you do? I have a few action steps for you. I gave you a lot of information in this video, but there's a lot more that can be dug into as far as actions that you can take, information you can find out there, and where you can be prepared to handle this as kids begin to use mobile devices more so than they are now, which is pretty crazy to think about. So number one, educate yourself. So we went over some of the types of screen time and the length of screen time, but it depends on how old your kids are and their maturity level a lot. I do have a checklist out there that helps you decide if your kid's ready for a mobile device, if you want to go out there and find that. And then types of content, which we just dove into, but there is a lot more to it than just naming the types of content. And there's places that you can go find good apps for your kids to use when they do get their tablet or phone time. Number two, probably I would consider one of the most important. Again, all of these important. It's hard to rank which ones are the most important, but they're create a family plan and or contract. Again, I have some tools that I do lay out in my Mobilized Parent course. I would highly recommend going through that, but create a family plan or contract. 3 things that should go along with that is it should be written and printed out. You should go over it with your kids and have it signed, and preferably have it posted, because one thing that you'll find, and I'm sure if you're a parent and are dealing with this right now, is that this is an issue that does come up, and when you try and punish with it, it's really hard. So you do want to have it posted so it is something you can go back to and refer to. And number 3, so use tools to help you execute. So make sure if you create the plan that you execute it, and there are a lot of tools out there to help you monitor what the kids are doing on the device. There's tools to help you stay educated, like my community does help you do that, and just make sure you're able to execute that plan, because there's a reason you did it, and it's to protect your kids and help them become responsible, respectable adults. And then examples again are lock it down, monitor it, and limit it. So again, just going to break that down one more time. Number 1, educate yourself. Number 2, create a family plan and or contract. And then number 3 is to use tools to help you execute. And the visual that I came up with this is to always sprinkle all 3 of these things with some communication between you and your children. That's always super important when deciding on how to use these mobile devices. As I cover in my course, again, it's amazing the amount that these kids that are out there, that the plans people have put in place where they like to be involved, and it goes a lot easier the more communication there is. So I hope this education helped you and that you found it valuable. I hope that you learned something that you can apply to the situation or will help you prepare.